Like that was cool. Damn, that looks like a heavy ass suit. But where'd it go? Where'd he put it? Because it's not there in the elevator when you get out. But I just went with it, and then that was a cool reveal. When for a second I thought maybe Lucius was evil. I thought maybe it was like a Clayface situation. I thought, this is cool. They're gonna introduce Clayface. But
again,
bring him back. But no, it kind of was a little bit short. Like, it just kind of ended. Like, you just beat him up. I think you just punch him once.
You give him one punch when he pulls because he has the gun to Lucius, and then he points it to you, and you have a split second to just punch him in the face, and then you pick. I think then Lucius hits him with the bottle, and then you pick him up and throw him through the desk.
Yeah,
and then you just hear the referee ring the bell.
Yeah,
he gives Batman the World Heavyweight belt.
It lifts up Batman's arm.
Vince McMahon comes through the door, applauds him for it.
That would have been better than what we got. I would have loved to have seen that. That would have been so great.
Well, that was crazy that they had that they had this whole thing in Arkham City where you track down this killer who's it's kind of one of the relatively dark subplots where he's like cutting up these people and cutting their faces and everything, and he makes this perfect Bruce Wayne mask. And what does he do with it? I mean, basically nothing. He does next to nothing. That's so much buildup for just a very quick. There wasn't even a great master plan that started to unveil that Batman had to stop. He really just kind of showed up there and then hung around for a while. But he's like, bring me Bruce Wayne, Batman. Okay. All right.
I would have gone somewhere like Japan and pretended to be Bruce Wayne. Hey guys, that's Bruce Wayne. Also, I don't know how he walks around the city and not being distinguished for being Bruce Wayne. What is he? If it's been a while since the events of Arkham City, I'd be like, what's he been doing? He'd probably
just be like, I get that all the time, and just knock it off. Yeah, get it all the time.
You just see Bruce Wayne pass Hush. He's like, hey man. It's like, hey. There was some alright ones. I mean, the Hush one was meh. The Firefly one was alright. And I'm doing the Deathstroke one at the minute. I haven't caught Deathstroke yet. But I do like the fact that he's turned up because I think he's one of the coolest villains out there.
And that was a great replacement for the Arkham Knight.
Yeah, that was smart.
They replaced a militia leader and then they put Deathstroke in there. I'm like, that's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, because I was curious how you could do those missions anytime you want. I was curious how are they gonna have, because the Arkham Knight would always curse you out whenever you beat a thing or whatever. So that was a cool move to bring back Slade Wilson.
Not to be confused with Wade Wilson.
Yeah, there's a bit of it's a bit on the nose there, DC.
The Riddler story is just
I hated those races.
I loved the Riddler races. I thought that all of that stuff. I thought all of what I liked about the Riddler stuff in this game, unlike Arkham City, you had to do a certain number of collecting trophies and puzzles and riddles just to unlock the next mission thing for the Riddler, and then you couldn't capture him until you got literally everything, and that was frustrating. So I remember I had the strategy guide, and I spent I think it was 24 hours in game doing all those freaking puzzles in Arkham City. And in this one, I was like, it's nice that you can just go and play the missions. And, you run through the obstacle course with the Batmobile, or you do the puzzle rooms with Catwoman. And I thought it was really cool. They had the robots that, you had to fight some as Catwoman and some as Batman. You got to do the team-up combat and a little bit of puzzle solving and stuff. I actually thought that was really cool. I thought it was very well done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was definitely a better presentation. I did hate, though, the whole you have to get the Riddler trophies after the side mission with Catwoman and stuff and freeing her. That now you have to get all those missions to fight him. That should have been just a bonus thing. Cheap. Yeah, that should have been just if you want to collect them, you can. There you go. Just making it a necessity to beat the game. I don't know. I felt like it was a cheap way of extending how many hours you could of content in the game.
Yeah, that's true.
Go on, sorry, James.
It led to the funniest line in the game, though, when he's okay. So when Nigma's like, you'll have to. It's if you want to fight me, you'll have to solve all of my riddles and blah blah blah. And he starts going down there and goes, and Catwoman goes, or we could just leave you down there.
Leave you down there.
Which is, I'm like, that's a good idea.
Which is exactly what I'd do. I'd be like, I'd lock the doors and leave and be like, see you later.
All right, I'll get to work on those trophies.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of us took Catwoman's advice.
5 years later, come back, he's just a skeleton in the roadside. It's like, oh.
We stopped him. That's how we stopped the Riddler. Oh, man.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I liked the idea that the Riddler kind of... they added something new to the Riddler race. The Riddler, anyway, with the races. That final race was a bitch.
Oh my god, the final one was terrible.
The fourth attempt... The worst part was, though, when you fail it in, like, the midway and the half lap, you have to get through the rest of it to reset it again.
It's like the walk of shame.
Yeah.
I hated it. Oh, God, I hated that game at that moment.
But you don't get any satisfaction before the walk of shame. That's the difference. Like, it's just that fact that I'm just fucking driving down here. And he's like, fuck's sake. I did do it in the end, but I really, like, some of it I really did enjoy. I love the fact that Catwoman is just there and you have to kind of, like, deal with her as well, and she's getting a bit annoyed.
You can go backwards in that course, though. Like, because, like, if you don't get to the halfway point, you could actually drive the course backwards to the because like I like would go through like the main area, like there was that first area where like you had the two doors that kind of opened up, and then they had the revolving things before you got to the waterfall.
Yeah, well, I mean, no. After the two doors, you get the ramp. You have to jump over.
Mm-hmm.
So how can you get back then?
Well, no, there's no ramp you have to. You can get back that because I did that. I went. Okay. I got just before the waterfall where you have to go up and around at the right momentum. I messed up and I was like, I'm not going to be able to finish this, in the timer. So I'm like, it'd be quicker if I could just turn around. So I just turned around. And I just drove all the way back, and it let me go all the way back.
Okay, fair enough.
And then it restarted as soon as I got to the start line.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, like. That was alright, the Riddler stuff and everything else. I'll probably do that in the long run. And Firefly was pretty cool as well. I think the serial killer thing, the guy rips people's faces off, that was interesting.
I like the deep tissue scanning element was pretty cool. I didn't, one thing I didn't like though I have to say about the side quest, I like being pointed in the right direction. The fact that you kind of just had to listen for opera music or cheat and go online was like, come on, I don't want to just fly around the city. Oh, look for this, look for that. Be on the lookout for this. Like, come on, I just want to know where to go.
I think the only reason they did that was because they want to sell strategy guides.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if this was an actual tactic you could do, but I noticed it. At least for the firemen missions, if you go and you do one. And then, he's like, I have to find the firemen. And then, they don't tell you where to go. You just have to go around Gotham, like what James was saying. I noticed that if you save and turn it off, and then turn on your save or whatever, that there would be a new fireman found to go and save. I don't know if that's an actual thing or if it just happened. Because I would play and then turn it off, and then like a few hours later come back and replay it, and they'd be like, "Oh, Master Wayne, we found a fireman," and I'm like, "Oh, cool." And I'd go off and save them, and it happened every time. And I started thinking like, "Oh, sweet, next time I could save another fireman." It was like something I looked forward to.
I think it depends with the actual the story points as well, because like there's mid points in the game where like Alfred's like, "And this is happening in the city, and this is happening in the city," and it's like. To try and make you do side missions?
No, but it was after I beat the main quest.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I think it just updates because I'm just like going from place to place now. It's already giving me an objective marker. Mm-hmm. But to be honest, my favourite out the entire side missions was the Azrael one.
Oh, that was really cool. I thought that was a cool.
Only because there's two different endings to it. I thought that was cool.
Well, three technically.
Three. Yeah, sorry. There's 3 endings technically.
Which I didn't know about. I didn't know you could break the sword. I didn't know that.
Well, I broke the sword. Chris walked out the elevator. What did you two guys do?
Well, as you know, I didn't beat it, so I'm gonna walk out the elevator.
Okay, fair enough. James, what did you do?
I accidentally tried to kill Batman, but
quote accidentally,
right? Because I didn't want to. Because like I didn't know I'd be given a choice, and I guess I did the thing my brother does. I pressed A just too fast, And like, you know, I went up to him like, all right, I guess I have to. Because at first I didn't want to pick up the sword at first, so I'm like, I'm not going to pick up the sword. And then my brother's like, you have to pick up the sword. I'm like, fine, I'll pick up the sword. And I go like, all right, A. And then it's like, oh shit. And then you know, obviously Batman takes you down because you're not going to kill Batman.
That was quite funny.
That's awesome. Yeah, just like, I guess I have to do it. Ah, fuck.
So funnily enough, we all got different endings then, the three of us.
Yeah.
Actually finished it. So that's quite cool. But yeah, let's get out of the story now. Let's go to the main part and the most controversial part of this motherfucking game.
Oh,
and
boy.
It's that fucking Batmobile. Let me just first say, the moment when that Batmobile destroys, I literally felt like The Rock got up and started clapping. And then, 30 minutes later, Batman is kneeling behind a wall with Barbara Gordon, and he's like, I've got Lucius to make me another one, and my face just dropped, like, oh, fucking Lord.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
My wife was in the room when the Batmobile blew up, and I was like, yeah! And she's like, but you just lost the Batmobile. I'm like, yes! I was so happy. She didn't get it. She's like, but the game is clearly trying to make you feel, you know, sadness. You lost your car. And I'm like, no, it's a good thing. I know what they're trying to make me feel. I feel happy. It was so great. I was like, fuck you! No more fucking, like, what are those hooks you had to connect to and all that crap? I'm like, yes, no more of that. I hated that so much. Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
I was very happy. And then, like Adnan said, I'm like, you son of a bitch, another one, and it's gray or whatever. Like, fuck you. It's the same car.
My favourite part was when I sent you guys the meme of the Arkham Knight. It's like, we just fought another tank, let's have another tank battle. Like, you fight like the guy in the tank. And then, like, just like giant drill. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with these developers? I don't despise the Batmobile that much. I think that the problem is it's just being used too much. I like the fact that I can drive around the city. Mm-hmm. I got more used to that idea. I just don't like the fact where it's like, and now you must use the Batmobile. I'm like, oh, what? Like, every other game before that, I was fine as Batman, but now all of a sudden the Batmobile is like the only thing that will help me to get through certain things. It just makes no sense.
Someone pointed out something really funny online where they're like, I don't get it. Why the fuck do I have to solve a puzzle to find a way to put the Batmobile on top of a building when the fucking Batwing is just flying around doing nothing? It could just swoop down, pick it up, and drop it off for me. It would take like 2 seconds. This
is the exact same as my Scarecrow analogy. Basically, James, before you came in, I said to Chris, that Scarecrow let 6.5 million plus citizens of Gotham leave, and then he wants to deploy a fear gas toxin to the Gotham police and Batman only. Why would you let them leave the fucking city? Is it the entire point to... You know,
well, didn't they say that the device would blanket the eastern seaboard, so it didn't matter? They were like, it doesn't matter if they leave the city.
Yeah,
they get outside of the blast radius.
What the fuck's the president of the United States? Why is he not dealing with this?
Because they don't know. They don't know the cloudburst is that powerful.
They need some better intel, people.
I don't know. But, you know, the thing about the Batmobile is, like, I think the overutilization is the issue, because I think I have two issues. The overutilization, so it's way too much. There's too many engagements with the Batmobile. You have to use it too much. It's too mandatory in the main mission. And then when you do have these long tank battles, they last forever, and it's the same thing. Strafe right, shoot. Strafe left, shoot. Strafe right, shoot. Go back, shoot. It's the same thing over and over. So there's no variety.
You're shooting a missile, shoot that shit down.
Yeah, and when it's the same, and when you look at the variety in the hand-to-hand combat, from the free flow combat to the Predator stuff, there's so much great variety in the gameplay there that when you're in the Batmobile, it feels like, all right, it's point and click, and that's upsetting because it just takes too long. If they were shorter, that monotony wouldn't be so bad, and it wouldn't seem so repetitive. And then I think the second issue is the damn control scheme. I can't stand when you have right trigger is accelerate, but X is brake.
Yeah, I changed the controls.
I mean, that's just awful.
Yeah, the default was horrible. I actually took Josh Mobley, our good friend Josh Mobley Prime. I took his advice because he said he switched the control scheme to be the toggle mode, where you tap I think it's like R1 or L1, I can't remember, and it just turns it into like the tank mode, and then you could use the triggers to accelerate. And my finger hurt in the tutorial from holding down the fucking L2 button. I'm like, God damn! I hope this is a game.
I saw a lot of reviews point out that you should change schemes quickly. My thing is, though, I got used to the fact that I couldn't reverse with L2, which I was like, fucking hell. Yeah. I think like I used to, when I accidentally ran into a wall, I used to like just hold L2 and just like strafe quickly and then get back on course. I had a few problems. The fact that the controls for driving are a little bit atrocious. It feels like I'm driving a tractor at like 90 miles per hour. I have no control over like drifting and stuff. 2, the Batmobile is literally like the Hulk. It destroys everything. I'm breaking through pillars of buildings and they're not falling down. I'm like, what? Like, what universe am I in?
It destroyed my house, remember?
Yeah. Do you know what I did as well? How is your house now? Is it filed out the support beams?
It's finally back to normal.
No, I even went down during the GCPD. I went down there and I broke every support beam, hoping that the building would fall, but it didn't. I was like, well, this says everything. No, that was a problem as well, that I was carving through everything like butter. And then just generally, like, I think tank battles weren't too bad. Like, the one outside the GCPD is pretty cool, where you fight, like, almost all the Arkham Knight's army. Yeah. But there's just somewhere, it's like, as I said, fighting the Arkham Knight and the tank, I'm like, are you kidding me? Why can't I fight someone? This is why I like Montreal's Deathstroke fight in Arkham Origins, because that was so fucking badass. Like, they just got boss battles on par. That one fight was so great when you fight Deathstroke. It's just great, like, quick time events and stuff like that. That's what I wanted, but then the Arkham Knight's just rather more of a Predator challenge afterwards. But saying that, the Predator challenges are very, very good in this one. It's just not like a conventional building. It's just like, do you know how they've changed the layout and everything? I love how the Arkham Knight keeps telling them to do different things. It's like, shoot through the wall, shoot through the, shoot on the support beams. He's like kind of directing things. He understands who Batman is.
Yeah, that was really cool. It was. I mean, they still, aside from like Batmobile aside, I like a lot of like the evolutions in the like the combat of Batman and stuff. I did agree with Adnan about the fear takedowns. Making things like a bit easier. That's what it's called, right? Fear takedowns, or
fear takedown.
Yeah, that was it was cool to do, but like I wouldn't say it necessarily broke the game. I think that's too. That was
the first thing I upgraded to 5. I upgraded to 5 and I was taking down people I'd literally lure everyone to one spot and do fear takedown. And like, there you go. I'm in the next, because that's what I was pointing to you, James, where I said it was too powerful, because I went straight from 3 to 5. I was like, and most of the areas were like 7 enemies or so. So I'd take down the first guy, 4 people would go running up that, and then I'd just do fake fear takedown. Cool idea. I'm not saying that's a bad idea. I love like how he changes the outfit and you have the fear takedown as a mechanic. It's a great idea, but the thing is, it's just in execution, it kind of makes the game a bit too easy as Batman.
Yeah, I never upgraded that because I tried to get upgrade points I always upgrade armor or health first in any game.
Same here.
That's always where I go first. So I never upgraded that. I actually kind of feel like if you keep it unupgraded, it keeps it balanced.
Yeah. But saying that, I kind of cheated with my upgrades. I'd wait for my health to go down to actually in the final bit, and then I'd upgrade, and it'd automatically regenerate my health.
That's a valid strategy. That's not cheating.
Yeah. So I did that, but I feel like that was the first thing I did, and when I did it, I was like, I can take all these fuckers out in one go. So I did like that part. Just like that. I do like the dual mechanic fighting with like Robin or Nightwing. I just feel like it's got no purpose outside those missions. Like, I wish like after you've completed the game, Robin could be a psychic when you get into battles. But I'm more interested in the sense that if the dual takedown was just like kind of on the power meters, we can't seem to do that.
Those are really cool, though. By the way, I like that a lot. Whenever you teamed up with Nightwing or Robin, that was really cool. I think Catwoman too. Yeah,
that was fantastic. Yeah,
it was really cool. Also, can we touch on the fact that Batman probably kills someone in this game? Many people.
What?
Just like the Batmobile in general.
People. I think they kind of did, like, it was a half-ass explanation, but if you notice when you hit one, they actually get electrocuted off.
Yeah.
Electrocute, or you have that other torrent guy. I just don't know. For some reason, I actually hit one guy. He landed next to a mine, and I kept shooting the mine, hoping this guy would die. I just kept firing the mine. I was like, and he didn't die. I was like, fuck this.
I mean, I clearly ran someone over several times because I would knock someone out and then just run over their knocked out body, and I didn't mean to. It just happened.
I'm driving the Batmobile like 50 miles per hour. I hit someone, they get electrocuted, they go flying. What are the likelihoods of you going to survive something like that?
It makes Batman feel good, though. He's like, I didn't kill him. just knocked him out, you know. So I don't know why I'm doing Christian Bale Batman. That's not the same Batman. It's the good Batman.
Also, I like his little back area of the Batmobile where he puts people in there.
That was a cool... Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. It makes sense,
the worst part was? The worst part was when Jim Gordon fucking drives off like a lunatic, and you have to defend him in the tank, and then he basically gets in the back of your car afterwards, and it's like, what was the point? You could have just jumped in the car in the first place.
That thing looks like something you'd use on a child.
Like a high chair or whatever, like a
car
seat.
Could you imagine if you try to put Bane in that? No, able to fit in that.
Well, you'd have to, get him off the Venom.
Yeah,
strap him to the top of the car,
like a big old Christmas tree.
Yeah. You could just tilt the car and stand up, couldn't he? And walk away with you. Killer Croc turns into a turtle.
That's so cute, actually. That's adorable. I would love to see that.
Oh god, the gameplay was great though. I really enjoyed it. I dug it.
Yeah.
There was some great additions as well. I think that voice synthesizer is hilarious. I had a lot of fun with that.
Oh yeah, I loved doing
cool.
Harley Quinn's voice. Like, go over there, and open that. That was so cool. It was so awesome. They're like, the boss wants us to do it. I guess we do it. And then, they
it don't make any sense, but I guess we gotta do it.
Yeah, it's so cool hearing them try to rationalize Harley Quinn. Like, why do that? Like, I don't know. Harley is not the most, stable person.
I still don't get that character. It just goes back to when she just felt so out of place in this game. Yet she was such an important part of the other games.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of a cop-out. She didn't find out about Bruce Wayne being Batman.
Yeah.
She was stuck in that cell. So, when you go and you talk to her, it's not like Batman's going to be like, by the way, Harley.
Oh.
I'm Bruce Wayne.
By the way, when you have to lock yourself into that cell, I was there for 20 minutes, walking in and out. I was like, why the fuck is this game not progressed? And then I realised he has that blue spark over his head. I have to counter. Do we have to throw Robin into the actual cell instead of you?
I thought that didn't make any sense to me because the first time I played through that, they're like, oh, you're the next Joker and you have to go in here. And I'm like, okay. So I went in. And then I took my helmet off and I sat down or whatever. And then I looked up and then Robin runs off and then Joker does his thing. And then I just kind of stayed there. And I'm like, all right, is something going to happen? And then I'm like, and then when I eventually got out, I'm like, this makes no sense now because I chose to get in. So how did I get to replay my life? It didn't go respawn to checkpoint. It just seamlessly Joker go oh, let me finish my story, blah 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 or whatever, and then you get out, and then it rewinds time, and then you do it again. It's like that makes no fucking sense.
I kept doing it. Even after he's like, all right, Bats, make the right choice. I did it again.
I did it 6 times.
You did I love the first time. I did it twice.
I honestly, because do you want to see that message where Joker's doing that great scene there? And he's just like, that's after when he shows the Jason Todd thing where he shoots him. So that's a great scene. And then I did that. I did 6 times. I was like, why the fuck is this scene replaying? Why am I not going forward? And then all of a sudden I was like, why has he got a blue spark over his head? I kept looking at it as well. I was like, why is there a blue spark over his head? And I counted. I was like, oh, that's what you meant to do. There were just moments where my brain literally just collapsed and I was just like, what am I doing here?
I actually have a question. What exactly went on with Henry Adams?
He the venom affects him eventually.
He was just slow. Yeah, I guess it was slower for him.
Yeah, I think it's either a slow burn or he what did he intentionally deceive them?
I don't think so because remember he got all Jokerified when he
he doesn't.
Yeah, but that's when he revealed it. I thought I don't know.
No, because Batman believes that he's immune to it.
Yeah, enough that he would let him walk around freely.
He's immune to the point of convenience for the plot.
Yeah.
Until the second they need him to turn, and then he turns, right?
James, they need you in that writing room because you're exactly the kind of person that probably made that statement. It's like, we can use him as a plot device for 25 minutes during the sequence, then we change him.
He could be immune, but it wouldn't make sense. He'd be infected for so long, it doesn't matter. His immunity lasts until we need him to not be immune. That's the beauty of writing fiction. You can write whatever you want.
And in this later scene, we'll have Robin fly. Because he can fly for the sake of the plot. There were some great moments in the entire thing. One of my favourite parts, actually, was when the Joker kind of gives you advice. Just like, use the Batmobile or something. And there's one scene where I got stuck on top of an elevator and there's a turret at the bottom. And basically, I kept flying down and then flying back up. And he's standing at the top, Joker, and he's like, Bats, are you that stupid? You meant to, you should be doing this instead. And then I did it 3 times, and then when I came back up, it's like, for goodness sake, Bats, use the Batmobile, and he disappears. And it's just a great thing where I was like, that's fantastic that he actually kind of like gets that.
That's actually something to point out. I thought that was really cool that there's almost like a replayability with the game, because if you don't try to do as many side missions during the main quest, you don't get those Joker missions after the main quest is done. Or, I'm sorry, those Joker like moments where he just pops up. I did like the entire Riddler section, and every time he came out, he was trying to convince you that he was in hell with Talia, and that she was saying it was cool to move on with Catwoman. And he's like, oh, I just finished talking to Talia, the girl that I shot in the spine. She says it's totally cool, go ahead and move on. It looks like Catwoman wants some attention and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's such a cool moment.
It's okay. She said it's okay for her to scratch post.
Right. So I'm like, that's such a cool moment. But like, obviously, if you complete the main quest and you go and you do those, you wouldn't get any of that content. So that almost makes me want to replay it just for that.
That scene where Catwoman leaves the Riddler's mansion and she's trying to be seductive to Bruce Wayne. It's like the most awkward thing where he's like, I'm busy tonight. I'm like, is this guy a dude? Is he really a dude? The first thing you do is throw that batsuit away and like walk off with it to a motel or something, wherever she wants to go. It's just, I was there like,
dude, motel. You have the Batmobile right there. It was used for everything else in the game. Might as well use it for something else.
It's big enough.
Yeah, that back seat, dude.
You have to activate tank mode before you get to the hotel.
Tank mode is necessary.
Although take out a few drones.
That back seat, though, you have those things that come down like an amusement park ride. I don't know if you'd be able to do much.
Opening it, you could just put like an auto set option where it comes in and out. Why? I can't believe I actually said that as well. Oh god,
that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're coming to a close with our spoiler cast.
Oh, actually, can we touch on one more scene?
Oh, sure.
The Joker versus Batman towards the end when Scarecrow's injecting with a fear toxin.
Oh, right.
That's such a great scene where Batman is quote unquote fighting back.
That actually the very end part where it turns into like Gears of War and then it turns into like an FPS. That was really, that was so great. That jump scare happened with the fucking Batman statue. That scared the crap out of me, man.
Do you know when you go into first person mode, I was like, is Activision taking over this game or something? It's just like, what the fuck do I have a gun? I'm just like walking around. But I love when the statues keep appearing.
Yeah.
So like.
It legitimately creeped me out.
It creeped me out. I've had nightmares since I played Condemned in that mannequin store. The mannequin store sequence in Condemned is literally frightened me when I was 5 years ago. Like, oh my god, it's the most terrifying thing. Because I remember playing that game, and then I saw someone walk away. It's like, did that mannequin just walk away? I was like, nah, I'm just thinking about that. Walk down, and then he starts attacking me. I'm like, oh! I'm just like panicking. And honestly, the statues, mannequins creep me out. Completely creeped me out. But yeah, that statue scene and everything building up to it was great, and just like the fact that he's trying to like make sure that the Joker's being. It was almost like Nightmare on Elm Street-esque. Do you have Freddy vs. Jason, where he's like, and they try to bury me, Freddy Krueger at the beginning of that film, and it's like it's sort of like that, almost kind of getting that vibe. But yeah, that's one of my favorites.
We got to have that "I am vengeance, I am the night, I'm Batman" line, which is just awesome.
That was so
and
great.
like it was placed perfectly because I'd heard that line before. I know it must be from some comic. I don't read comics, so just right off the bat, I don't read comics, so I don't know in particular which one it was from. But I've heard it said a few times. I heard Kevin Conroy say it over and over. But like just the placement of that was perfect. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah,
then it kicks Joker back into the thing that he was in Arkham Asylum when they went to like that restricted wing. He was on top of that. Towards the beginning of the game when you're trying to catch up with Joker, and then he's on. I forgot what it was. It was like a prisoner transfer thing or whatever cell, which is what you end up kicking Joker into at the end of this game, which I thought was a cool little nod.
Yeah, it was definitely super empowering to have Batman be like, "Fuck you, I'm taking it." He's still on his mind, but he's like burying him deep inside. It was a really probably like the best Batman character moment probably the only Batman character moment of the whole game. That was like worth of talking about. That was a really good moment.
Yeah, I love how Scarecrow becomes a complete and utter pussy at the end. Like, just total pussy. I'm like, oh god, wow.
You can't even talk to him in the cell or anything. He's too freaked out.
One more thing before I'm finished. There's that great moment where you can go into the collection room at the JCPD and it has all the weapons and stuff that you've fought from enemies from past Arkham games, and then you can go up to the Talia al Ghul statue and he interacts with it, and he just like kind of puts his hand on it. I thought that was great, especially just because Talia is the only one he does it to.
Yeah.
I love that. I thought it was a great little nod that they put in there.
Yeah,
that whole thing was really well done. One thing I really liked about this, and I apologize if you guys already talked about this before, but what I really liked was how they, even though this was Rocksteady's third game, and it was all, it was obviously, it's, the end of their trilogy and everything, they didn't treat Arkham Origins like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
They really included a lot of stuff from Arkham Origins. They put in the crime scene recreation, which launched the biggest fight I've had.
I side with Crime on this one because there was no cameras anywhere.
Oh, please.
No, that scene is perfectly fine. When I was watching it, most forensic scientists would be able to work out that scene. Oh, not in the fact that they can recreate it with a supercomputer and that he's Bruce Wayne and he runs R&D development at Wayne Enterprises, which is a massive technological corporation as it is. It's the fact that how he projects things would be sincere. Like, if you can see someone crawling through the dirt, he would probably be able to do it. Where he sees the Arkham Knight fire a bullet from that direction at that angle, you'd be able to see it with the car door flying off in that direction. Most of it's normal stuff. And the fact that he's actually dubbed the world's greatest detective and he can't solve that would make no sense.
Yeah, I mean,
and yet he can find Riddler trophies.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, the fact that to me, it's basically just him approximating what it would look like. So you say, okay, well, in your mind, you could see a car right now. In your mind, you could imagine a car crashing, someone jumping out and crawling away. Right? You could imagine that, couldn't you? You don't have any cameras on it. You could just imagine it. So now imagine if that imagination was just a hologram because you fed your thoughts on the situation into a supercomputer and it made a hologram that approximated what it was. Oh well, she crawled out in that general direction or whatever, and there was a bullet that came from here or whatever, and you could see the bullet. I mean, there's enough evidence there. I think nitpicking that's a little unfair.
But look, the thing is though, he makes sense out of it. Like the car door, he has to go and look for the car door because he doesn't know where it lands. He projects where it flies off, the projection of where it hits and the velocity that it flies off. Mm-hmm. He projects where it's going to land. He has to go and look for it because he's like, I don't know where it's landed. And you go down the pier and it's on the bottom side of it. It's the same with the Barbara Gordon thing where she throws that finger to the thing. He's like, obviously she's done something, the movement's there. There are some parts where it's a little bit kind of odd, but most crime scene forensics people would be able to solve something that's almost impossible to us because they just look at calculations and predictions and stuff. Like, they must have like a board of like hypotheses before doing it, and he kind of does that as well. Like everything he's doing is a hypothesis. Like it's like, does he do this? Like the Arkham Knight is obviously in the car because he gets out and he's standing at this angle. It's a tall guy because the bullet comes from here.
Right.
So, and obviously, as you said, James, it comes from Arkham Origins. So like they've obviously carried over the continuity for it.
Yeah, and I like that a lot. I like they put in the crime scene recreation. I actually thought that. That they could have used that a couple more times in the game because I think what it did do, because this was Batman versus an army basically, and there was a lot of the tank combat and there was a lot of craziness going on. Everything was very epic. It would have been nice to slow down the plot a little bit more and let him be a bit of a detective as opposed to just being or even if you just threw it in the side quest or something. But I thought it slowed down the game a little because the game was going at such a crazy pace. And it continued at a pretty crazy pace. Everything was very fast, and there was a lot of action, and that was fine. But, obviously you get a little numb to it after a while. You get desensitized to all the craziness, so you have to kind of slow it down a little bit. But I thought they did a decent job of that. But I think it would, if they could have thrown that in one or two more times. I thought in Arkham Origins they had like a whole series of side quests where you use the crime scene recreation tool, and I thought that was really cool. But yeah, I like that. They put in Firefly. They had the evidence room that had all of the different things. The electrocutioner's gloves were in there, for example, and everything. And they really made like, look, we know that we didn't make that game, but it's part of our universe, and it's part of the Arkham, and like, Arkham Origins, for as many problems as I had with the game in terms of, it crashing a lot and it being kind of, having some other issues with it, I thought the story and the characters in particular were fantastic in that game. So I love that they didn't just discard that, because I thought that game had a lot of good things going for it.
Yeah, we touched on this before, but I'd like to get your opinion on it, and I totally agree. I just love the fact that they didn't disregard it for the sake of, like, what, we didn't create it, it's not canonical or anything. They kind of reference back to it as well, like, was it Halloween, is it Christmas night that they're going to kill him in Arkham Origins?
Yeah. It was Christmas Eve, yeah.
Yeah, like Christmas Eve, they keep referring back to, like, it's been 10 years since Deathstroke or whatever, like, they just keep kind of referring back to it. I love that they added that fact that it wasn't just like, what, we're not going to consider that they can do their own universe. It's like, yeah, we'll establish that, we'll ground it even more into our own game.
Yeah, I mean, that's getting all in on this, saying, hey, look, we're going to allow someone else to make a prequel game, and it's Arkham whatever, and we're going to use the name. So, hey, if they use the name, that means it's part of the universe, and good or bad, it's going to be part of the universe. And, I mean, I think luckily for them, for the most part, but in terms of additions to the universe, I think Warner Brothers Games Montreal gave them a lot of really cool stuff. I mean, that individual game had its own issues, but I think the lore that it added to the game, I don't think there were really any issues with that. I think that was all great stuff that they got to put in. So I was happy that they didn't, disregard Arkham Origins. But also, once again, you didn't need to have played Arkham Origins. Like, my older brother did not play Arkham Origins. He only played the Rocksteady games. And it was like, so, yeah, he didn't know who Firefly was, but then again, you don't really need to know who he is.
Yeah,
he's just a bad guy. I know who Man-Bat was, or whatever. He just shows up, which that scared the hell out of my brother. Scared. It was funny because we were both sitting there, and it happens the first time, and like he jumped. I was like, I don't know. I guess sometimes when there's a jump scare, either I go crazy or I don't react immediately, and then it's like my body is so slow that before it reacts, my brain realizes it's a jump scare and goes, oh. And then I just sit there and go, oh.
Chris played quite a bit of it before me, and he referred to 3 jump scares when I was talking to him. He referred to them. One of them was when the Joker turns up in that fear toxin chamber for the first time.
Yeah.
And he just turned around and he's there, like, that'll shit me up a little bit. The other one was when I grappled to the roof, and he's standing there. Like, he just, like, leans over the pillar or something and just absolutely shit the hell out of me. And the third one was Man-Bat. I was like, what the fuck is that? I was like, you're shaking my control. Like, do something. Don't just stand there. Don't just, like, lean on this ledge.
Did you...
that was just...
Did you guys see the moment where Joker does a parody of the Man-Bat reveal?
Yeah.
That was really cool. Like, such a great moment where he comes over and does, like, the same thing. Goes like, ah! And then starts laughing.
Yeah.
He's like, you should have seen your face. It was hilarious.
That was pretty funny.
I'm just going to be the comic nerd and say this. Man-Bat was actually... He created the whole thing for Batman to make... So he wouldn't have to dress up in the costume anymore.
Mm.
But he got it wrong, and he turned himself into Man-Bat and currently works for Shade.
Doesn't have a really cool name, does he? Man-Bat. Just saying, if you're going to be a villain, you have to do something like...
name in the mirror.
You have to be like Deathstroke. Like, Deathstroke's, like, really cool.
Well, Deathstroke's all about his badass name.
That's not even his full name. His full name is Deathstroke the Terminator.
That makes it worse.
Yeah, we'll stick with Deathstroke.
Deathstroke by itself is cool. Deathstroke the Terminator sounds geeky. I'm sorry.
We'll just say that Deathstroke's like the Puff Daddy of the DC universe. He changes it here and there, you know.
Who's his notorious B.I.G. then? The Killer Croc.
Only when he wears the skinny jeans, dude.
And his collar.
Yeah,
his diamond chains.
All right. On that note.
But that's it for this installment of Spoilercast. Thanks for tuning in. So to keep up to date with Gamer Headlines Spoilercast, be sure to follow the Game Headlines Show on Twitter at TGH Show, and be sure to like our Facebook page. Additionally, Game Headlines Spoilercast can be found on Podbean, Stitcher, iTunes, YouTube, and of course right here at GamerHeadlines.com. Thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Whenever.
Yeah, take care, guys. Thanks for tuning in.